from a level standpoint on the 1 day, this is exactly what we're working with, right? We have the highs, right? We have our summer lows, let's call it. I guess, yeah, we'll just call it our summer lows, which is right here. And I call it our summer lows, even though June pushed right down here, because we've been contesting these levels all summer. I mean, it does not take a rocket science to really see what's happening here the last 48 days, about just approaching that. So our summertime lows at 62.8, let's call it. Our highs are at 67, 66K level, right? This level is going to be where we had our previous pivot. So our previous pivot, when we pushed up into the range that we see here from February up until the break in April, our pivot line was that 66.7, 65 level, I'd like to call it. I remember executing around 65.4. So let's call these wicks as the range as well. These wicks matter. These levels all matter. This is where previous structure was able to hold us up into the 82, 83K highs. And then we saw a breakdown and a full gap nuke of this pivot line range up into the lows. And this low, right, in February at 60,000 is where we held after a sweep and a close back below to push us up into the most recent highs that we're seeing traded right now. Okay, so when you take all that into account, you could then form more of your decision of where you see price going in the immediate term. The immediate term is all I'm concerned about right now. Although I do think that the higher time frame is going to provide a lot of opportunities moving forward. If you allow yourself to look at the higher time frame, you're going to get access to that information, which in turn is going to get you into some really good swings, in my opinion. I like the way Nukido always keeps the same opinion, even though I'm not currently looking to do that. I like that he's doing that because it shows you guys that you don't always have to scalp. And honestly, if you're not accustomed to scalping, you probably shouldn't be scalping because you're going to leave yourself out of really good trades. Whereas if you're looking to catch a swing on these retests, it gets a lot more choppy to do so. And I'd say you have to be a lot more experienced in scalping to do this. I could do either or positions. I'm not too worried about it. But for people that are new, people that are inexperienced, if you have an entry like this at the lows and it looks like a low and it is a low, take profit towards the highs and leave a good portion of that position to run because these can act as good swing positions. But, you know, there's always another re-entry to be had, and that's what I like to preach, especially in my trading. Another reason why I close swings like this too from the lows is because I know that there's always another opportunity to be had, and I like it to be a challenge for me. Not saying that it's always right, and a lot of the times I would hold at least half of these positions for higher. In this case, I haven't, just because I do think that we could get lower, and I'll get into that in just a second. If we do push the 1 day block right here like I've been talking about, this 64.4 to 64.9 level, guys, and we start to get strong closures above, I think that we're going to push up into this block right here, right? I know a lot of people were calling for that 72K level to get tagged whenever we were up above these highs. Everybody was super bullish up here. We weren't. We were navigating the market accordingly. We took profit and we ended up shorting the flip down. That being said, I don't think that will go up towards 72K on a push up. If we do get those closures above the block, like I'm showing you guys, that exact block that we're looking to close right now, if we get that, I think that we'll get a move past these highs, and we should take invalidations that I've been playing at that 67 2K region to the upside. We should break that and push here, and in my opinion, I think that this would provide very good swing opportunities for shorts. Very good opportunities. And this area is a previous level of demand that broke down, closed below, and we've never gotten a retest in that level since. That would make sense for us to retest that, especially after we just talked about this more, I would say, intraday order block that we spoke about right here, right? How this level was chopping around above, below, above, below, above, below, lower highs up until we got this lower low push up into the most recent lower high here, and then a push up into this higher low, right? That makes sense. So this makes sense that we should test this level, right? But just because you think we should does not mean we are going to. And in my opinion, I would really like to get a good swing short up into this region if we get it. Remember, we got to see strong closures first. at that 64.7. Let's call it a median end number there at 64.7. I am still looking for opportunities to short if we see weakness up into this block. So if we don't start looking to reclaim and we cannot even sweep these highs, right? That's going to look like weakness. And that for me might be an opportunity to start to market short. The one thing that I do want to show you guys is, again, whenever I was looking for 65.3 as a short, okay, I ended up canceling that because we could flip this level up and we can move past. We have some tight highs here that we could easily sweep. I got greedy and I still have the short placed. I have a short at 65.9 because I thought that we could sweep these highs, fill this short, and move from that. We didn't, and we fell flat. What happened after that, though, guys? What happened after that? We pushed this level down. We closed so aggressively, and then we reshorted right before the weekend. And we caught a very good short. Not only did we catch a very good short, but we had a very good short with very easy invalidation because now I'm using highs as my invalidation. If I'm wrong, but we did it and we were right, and that's how it played out, okay? All I'm trying to say is if we miss a short here and we reject, we could get another entry after that. If we have to get an entry around here for an aggressive push towards these lows, we'll get it. I'm not super keen to do that. But if we got to do it, we'll do it. I still want to see what happens for the range on Monday. I want to see how we close, and I want to see what's going to happen there. If we could get a sweep of the Monday low, then I would be interested in that, meaning that we would probably do this up into this region and a push back up. If we can get blessed with some volatility, I would be open to an opportunity like that. But I want to show you guys what is happening here on the intraday. Like, look at the past Monday ranges. Look at the 4 last weekly Monday ranges that have occurred. Look how tight they've been. Very tight, guys. Extremely tight range that we're chopping in. Literally, and I'm going to discount this low, all the Monday ranges for the past month have been about a 3% range. Let's say like 3 to 4%. Again, good scalp opportunity, but that's to show you guys and to put in perspective of the price action that we're given here. I took all my profit off the long that we took from the weekend, and we're looking to push this level. On the 4 hour, not giving me anything convincing, right? On the hourly, it is giving me a little bit more convincing price action here for an intraday move. If you took, like, you would have to play this flip here with your invalidation below the low. And you look to target, like, I mean, you would probably get a move up here today, in my opinion. But that move up there for me is going to be looked like as a potential short opportunity. But that goes to show you that if you have good order blocks, you have good levels, you could get good intraday plays as well. You don't have to be super antsy to hop in a play like me. If I was looking to hop in a short here early last week, that wouldn't have been right. We hopped in here because it matters. This level matters. So let's get an opportunity for a long if it comes. If we do reject here and we go lower, I'm still under the assumption that we should hold at around that 61.7 to 61.2 region. I think that these lows are going to get contested, and this is where I would want to execute maybe a deviation below our indicator level. I think that if we could get a wick below, we could probably snipe that wick for a move up towards these highs, in my opinion. Do we go this high? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I do think that we're going to tag at around 66 to 65 again. I think that there's a possibility. I also think that there's a possibility that we go revisit lower. And I'll show you guys that in just a second. On the 3-day, the levels are going to update just a bit. We're not going to get those lower time frame, areas to kind of skew your vision a bit. But I just want to show you guys things from like a candlestick perspective as well as a range perspective. Look at this range here. Look how you have candle closures with their wicks right here. That matters, right? Again, look how you have candle closures here with the wicks. We'll take that all the way throughout. That matters, okay? That alone should simplify charting to you. So if we're holding this level down here and we've previously resisted this level up here with your candle open right here and a push straight off that and then a loss of that level, wouldn't that make sense that we retest that level again? It makes sense. We don't have to, but it makes sense. That's why I do think that this level is a level that we should retest and revisit if we do get strong closures above that order block that we've been paying attention to today. I do think that this level should be next, and this is the level that I would want to act upon. That being said, I still have a short limit active at 65.9 for a short down, just in case, right? We're in a very choppy, compressed market. In case that level tags, I'd want to execute because we might not be long, and I could potentially try a nice little short. But let me just go on to the 1 day again and show you guys that level that we just drew out here. So 3 day, bam, this level here. Let's make it red. Let's go down to the daily. Remember the 1 day demand level we were just talking about? This order block? Bam. It ties in with the top end of the previous range that we had here before the explosion up to 82K. This, for me, matters. I do think that if we push up higher and squeeze, we could potentially retest this level. So I would be open to checking if the candle closes on top of this order block, or if we get a move up here to 66, 67, I could then look for lower time frame confidence and confluence to get long for a push up into this region here. And honestly, if I miss this move because I closed my long here, it is what it is, man. Like, you got to take sight of the previous 1 day candles that have been occurring. Right? Look at these 1 day candles, right? They're so small. We have not had an explosive candle up since here, honestly, since 59 to 62, and then 62 to 65, right? And we have a move here from 62.8 to 64.4. That's a nice move, but if we move up higher, I would be inclined to believe that we get a wick into 65.9 and potentially catch that for a downside move. All right. So that's what I'm open to intraday. That's what I'm looking at. Again, like, the main thing that I'm trying to preach here, guys, is have a plan and have levels that you could act upon intraday, because intraday candles are providing opportunities, but they take time to play out. You got to understand what levels we're trading around before you even think to enter a position, guys. So in the higher time frame, when I am looking at purchasing spot, when I am looking at like a lows of the bear market, let's take a look right back to this price action here. I like that candle closure, and I like this candle closure. I like this range of consolidation from 2021. I like that we deviated under it. We pushed up into it, rejected, right? Deviated once more. Pushed up into the highs we saw here, push up to 69K, the deviation that took the initial high, right? And then the flip back down that caused this capitulation. And the 2022, 2023 bear market lows. This level for me is key. In my opinion, solely based off of that and off of the flip and retest that occurred before we saw the most recent all-time high push to 125K, that makes me believe that we should probably retest this level. Is it 100%? Might not happen. Might not ever retest. We might have just fully front ran a logical level before ultimately going up only to all new all-time highs and so on and so forth. But that would imply that I could enter in a spot position here with my invalidation right below here, and I'm all good to enter 20 BTC long with my invalidation below there, and it'll never tap that level again. I don't like to think that way. I like to think of what's possible and what's probable. What's possible and what's probable. What's possible is that we flip that 1 day order block that we were just talking about. We close above that level. We start to close above 66, 67K res, and we push up into the region that I just spoke about and reject off that, maybe even go slightly above into the wicks here, reject off that, whatever the case may be. This, I would anticipate to bring us into this region here. And in my opinion, I think that you could purchase spot in this region here and be profitable. This goes in line with some good sort of confluences that can occur. Like we would get a nice little falling wedge. We would get a nice flip of the support. We would retest some good, entries that took place right down here. And I mean, if I scroll up a fib, I mean, it's pretty much a given that there will be a Fibonacci pretty much in line with whatever we're looking at right here. So if I take this candle right down here, we push it up towards the highs. We have the golden pocket around 52K, which, I mean, when you're looking at Fibonacci and you're playing it as such, Like, that's just in general, it'll be a very good area to get into some positions for longs, right? But yeah, I think that a loose region makes a lot of sense, especially because this fib, I mean, look at the fib. It goes from the low here to the high here. And the 886 and 786 lines up perfectly with the levels that we just drew out right now. That for me is going to be the lows if we do get it. I don't think you should question yourself. I don't think you should question if we're going to go lower. I know a lot of people like to call for 30K, 40K, whatever the case may be. In my opinion, I think that this can smell for good opportunity. I think that we could chop around for a couple of months and then we could punch off that level and print new all-time highs. Honestly, I really do think that this is possible. Zcash opened up a very strong week. I don't like what I'm seeing on the weekly, though. I don't like the flat candle low at all. There's a lot of time, so it can still push higher. I still don't like that level. I think if you could get a short at around 538, that would be prime real estate for a short. And I'm still under the belief that Zcash is going to revisit lower. At the very least, it'll slag and consolidate a range, quite possibly. In my opinion, I think we'll see coins like ETH and Sol begin to show strength if the market obviously turns up. I don't think that Zcash is worth your time. Granted, I pointed it out yesterday, and I made a little bit of a lesson as well. I want you guys to check my corner and look at that lesson. It was consolidating above a very good level. You should not feel FOMO right now. You had all weekend to execute. We had an 8-hour order block level of demand that we were consolidating around and over. All right, we pushed up into that region even after I pointed it out and printed some higher lows up into it. That's where you're going to want to execute your long. The reason I say that is because these highs push into the low end of the structure that was printed right here above the range of consolidation that happened after the lows confirmed here, right? Off those higher lows, obviously. This is your median end range. We should be testing either highs or lows off of this consolidation. And look where price pushed. We should be pushing up above highs. I would not short a lower high on Zeke. I could be wrong, but again, I would not short a lower high on Zeke solely based off of that. I think that longers here caught a very good opportunity to potentially tag out and take shorts from here, in which case I would be inclined to execute my shorts on a sweep. Okay? Hope that makes sense, guys. As far as a long opportunity, I wouldn't look to long a retest of the block. I think that you can even if you don't catch a short, let's say up here on a reclaim down, whatever the case may be, you could still get good opportunity in this block on some closures down for an aggressive push of this low, right? Because at that point, price will have did whatever it did, whatever it does, right? Moves up into this region, and then you're going to have highs to target and lows to target. And if the momentum right here pushes down and we start to see strong closures below, the RSI is pointing like it wants to go towards oversold territory some more, you should probably get a good flip opportunity towards the downside here with some tight invalidations above here, in my opinion. Previous to this level, I would have used 522 as my invalidation for shorts. If we push down here like this, after price action like this, I would be inclined to use a tighter stop, assuming that we get a more aggressive move to the downside and tag our levels lower at around 450. And then we see what happened from there. Honestly, just solely looking at order blocks that have played here for Zeke, we've already tested and played two really good order blocks that I had my eyes on. And look how beautiful, it played out. I, for one, was not super keen on playing Zcash. Like I know you were, Tao. I know you were looking at some fine opportunities on Zcash. That being said, I wasn't. I was looking at Hype, BTC, other coins. Look at the retest that happened, right? You get your area of demand. You have the slice and deviation below. You have a push up off of it. And then you have a retest of it, right? That is a very good reaction. And that's really the reactions you want to execute on. So this move up, do not pay yourself mind if you were not looking at Zcash over the weekend. Sure, like there's a lot of opportunities when we have crazy moves up. And I do think that Zcash is in a position to where you could take a long here with a tight invalidation and it could be profitable for a sweep of the high. I don't think it's worth it from an RR standpoint. I really do not. You literally get a 1-to-1 as far as a long to a short here. You could literally play a long, like I love doing these in my streams as well. Like this is a prime example of liquidity. You get a long with your invalidation below, I would say, this structure. And then you get the same opportunity on the adverse side for a short. All right, you get a short. And honestly, the only logical invalidation would be on top of this high right here. And you're looking to target a breach into this structure high because we could potentially flip that level, right? So it could automatically revert off that. And I think that Zcash is in it. I think it's in a place where you'll see a revert happen. I don't know if it'll happen off the highs like this. I think that it could push. If we look to take the highs here, I think Zcash has the ability and the room to sort of run where these wicks have pushed up to, like this. So I would be a little bit more cautious on the short. I do think that the long is more profitable here, even though I would not want to enter aggressively. This is just how you have to go about looking at your plays intraday. If you already missed this opportunity, you have to evaluate which side it's worth taking and your position size that you even want to play. If you're looking to take a long here, you're not playing a huge position. You're not nearly playing a position size that you would have played over here, or that you would have played over here, or that you would have played on the flip up here, or that you would have played on the higher low situation as support, right? You go higher, the more confidence you have of your position size. The more confident you are, the more confidence you have as far as a conviction for entry. So I'll leave this up here for people that like to look at my streams. I'll leave the tools up here because it'll play out in the next few hours, few days, in my opinion. Let's take a look at Tao. Tao looks super, super dead. We talked about this block in last stream. It ended up rejecting it ever so beautifully. Retested this trend, pushed up off of it. Look at the price action that's ensuing for the last 2 weeks. All right, you get nothing. If we push up into this level, again, I still have my opinion that I had from last week. I'm looking for opportunities in the box right down here. Maybe even a deviation. Again, guys, if you don't have indicator access, make sure you get indicator access. You're going to get access to all my levels. I might not be on when these levels tag. These are levels you're going to want to naturally look for confidence to execute around them. Same thing like Pump did. Absolute same thing like Pump did. On Pump, I still think we're going to go a little bit lower on Pump. Granted, it's showing some strength today. We had a 12-hour level pop up yesterday that I showed you guys whenever we were pushing up into it. Oh, no, sorry, it was an 8-hour level. Yeah, 8-hour level. 8-hour, 4-hour, 8-hour level. So on the 8-hour, we had this level print, and I wanted it to get tagged because I thought we were going to go sweep these lows. We eventually just ended up holding a higher low right above that level. Again, I mean, it's support until proven otherwise, and support is not one singular line test. Support does not have to retest. You can easily get a support confirmation on a front run, right? On top of that, you had this 8-hour block right here for Pump. Right, we held once, we held twice with a higher low. Okay. On that token for Pump, on the 4-hour, you had this confluence zone right up here as well. So after we broke it, you should have had some confluences to get long as well here. That being said, if we push here, I think that this would be good opportunity to long Pump with very tight stops. Very tight stops. Right below this low, honestly. You get very good opportunity because this level could hold. The one thing I would say is if you're playing confluence zone as aggressive as this one would be, look at candle closures. If you get a heavy candle closure below this line, the lower line, close that entry because odds are we're probably going to move to the downside. And if you think that's your assumption, you probably will have a good invalidation to short. So if we begin to close heavy candles below this region, you could short with your invalidation above whatever price action wants to ensue here for a move down here. Honestly, I'm trying to come up with some plans for you and I to play, guys. Solely based off the price action we're given. You know, it's like how much can price compress? Eventually there is going to be a move up. Eventually there is going to be a move down, and you're going to want to execute according to those moves that happen. Just because I took profit on BTC, like over here, guys, does not mean I'm looking to short it right now. Does not mean that I'm looking to even short ETH as well, because I think that there's a chance we go higher. And honestly, Pump is the kind of coin that if we go higher, it'll probably go to the next level higher. Okay? So you definitely want to be cautious, especially that we just opened up the week. Always take a look at what the higher time frame candles are doing. And honestly, the 3-day looks really good. That being said, I would be very intrigued if we retest this middling line entry and we deviate that support that we're speaking about now. If we retest this, I would be inclined to long that. Again, the 3-day looks really good, but the 3-day just opened. Fake Monday, I don't trust Monday scam pumps. I do not like to trust pumps that happen after a lot of indecision. So I agree with you on that token. CRV did exactly what we talked about in the last stream. I mean, it literally popped up into our level and rejected fully, losing and deviating under this level right here. I'm watching this level on the 12-hour. I don't have my alert set right now, but I will have my alert set right now. If we push up into it again and close over, only then will I be enticing along for this coin. For now, we're closing below. We're looking to flip support into resistance, and that's exactly what's happening. Every push is resistance till proven otherwise, in which case I'm looking along the level lower, or we could take a look at our 4-hour, see if there's any levels to entertain here. You got one more level, which actually I would be more inclined to take because it's front running a good level and would signify some strength because it was strong prior and it's been super weak since. This 2320 region is where I would look to execute. I like that a lot for CRV, honestly. I'll put my alert there as well for us. I want to take a look at Link, guys. Link is interesting to me. I placed a long limit. Unfortunately, it front ran by literally a fucking hair. Unfortunately. What was I looking at? All I was looking at here, guys, because we're talking about a lot of order blocks and supply and demand, we pushed up into a 1-day level of resistance for Link after previously closing up into it, right? Rejecting, sweeping a significant low, closing back above that low, confirming an SFP, reversing off that level here, and then confirming demand right here, okay? All I was doing, guys, I was being greedy, honestly, with my entry. I was looking to get into an entry at the middle line of this demand zone here. We literally retested the next candle wick over right over my limit. Whereas I would usually always place a range of bids, I thought that we would get a little bit more of a wick into it, even though we got a sufficient wick, and we flipped right off of that. That was interesting to me, and that signifies strength in weird coins like Link. So I wanted to put that on your guys' radar. Make sure you're taking a look at weird coins that can potentially show strength like this. Pay attention to the levels that are presented and act accordingly to your candle closures. These are good opportunities for limits. When you have an area like this that prints strong, expect a retest, right? Expect a retest with a logical invalidation. Let's see if there's an opportunity for Altcoin. I know we made this assumption. We are consolidating above a good level for Altcoin. If we do reject this sort of bear flag, I want to say, it isn't a bear flag for sure. It's in a downtrend, printing a bear flag. If we break this level down, I think that we could hold this level right here just because it's so compressed. I don't want to call for a sweep of these lows here. I would call for a hold of this level here. So again, like CRV, kind of, I'm just going to put an alert here, see what happens from Altcoin, make my assumption if that level comes in tags. Let's take a look at USDT.D. Wow, perfect. Perfect. I thought we were going to sweep up a little bit. Needless to say, we played our positions great according to this. It is what it is. We didn't get a full sweep. We are getting compression, which I think is nice. That means that we have decisions to be had. Are we going to continue lower? Or are we going to flip this level and go higher? If we go lower, the market is going to do the adverse and it's going to keep pumping. In which case, I would look to short 65.9. If we get down here, I am shorting 65.9 all day because I think that this would confirm a cheeky higher low and a swift reversal. We are in intraday reversal territory. We could easily hold the midline as well. So pay attention to the 1 day as well for USDT.D. I don't want to convincingly say that we're going to sweep lows here or that we're going to hold higher lows here because we're chopping. And I want to give realistic scenarios, realistic plays intraday. As far as the swing goes, if we do sweep this level, I think that there's a chance that this can get a very swift reversal from. Depending on what happens economically, you know, the price action that ensues. Let's see, is there a economic event? Yeah. The next economic event we don't have until the middle end of September, right? We have PPI and CPI September 11th, 12th. And then we have FOMC September 17th. Then after that, we don't have anything until October, right? And then obviously like every month, whatever. So we don't really have implied volatility until then. We have the Crypto Clarity Act. Obviously, they're juggling that for September. So really, you got to think of what can potentially push price to do what I want it to do. I know, Rocco. The Link bid missed by fucking hair. But that's good. That means that the system is working. The system is working. Patience is being preached. Everything that we're doing matters. And that's good for our system. Okay, we're going to get a lot of profitable entries, albeit my frequency of trades when it comes to giving multiple trades has not really been there. I'm looking really to get 1 or 2 good positions, and that is where I'm very strong at doing. Okay, once I get one good swing, I then like to compound into other scalps and other potential swings and whatever can happen from that. You don't need to take 8 positions in one given move in the summer for a directional opinion on the market. And that's why I like to execute 1, 2 strong, confident plays. Those plays I'm willing to hold. Those plays I'm willing to hold over the weekend like we just did this last weekend. Honestly, I do think that I closed a little bit early. I do think that we can potentially push out of the zone. But again, like Nikito also expressed, it's a Monday move. Take it with a grain of salt. And we can honestly look for either of these scenarios to be right. I drew this plan before the move happened. Okay? These are plans that you don't steer away from just because the market's pumping. I'm not going to say, oh, okay, we pumped. Now I could cancel out this plan here. And we're going to go up only. No. I don't approach it like that. Same way like I would be looking at this as well. Like, okay, we're going to automatically reject off my point because we reached that level. No, that might not happen either. One of these is going to happen, in my opinion. And from that point, we could then make our decision. If we push up here, I'm looking to short that 65.9 limit that I just spoke about. If we move down lower, I'm looking to execute at around this box if I see and I deem necessary. If we close strong up here, then that whole perception changes and we might honestly just be looking for a potential higher low in the Monday range maybe and a move back up, right? I'll be evaluating, guys. I'm going to give more limits and more plans once I let more price action ensue. But from here on out, I'm pretty much tapped out of analysis. That's pretty much what I wanted to bring to you guys. If you guys, again, want to get access to my stuff, I know a lot of people ask. I know there's a lot of new people, so excuse me for the multiple shills. Get access to my indicators. Like you could literally get access to all my levels, right? You get access to all the levels, all the whatever you want to get access to. There's a lot more in this indicator. So not only do you get access to the indicator, you get access to WoodsBot and all the automations, okay? You get access to literally everything here for silver, combo alerts, Monday range alerts. You could customize your alerts, top gainers, RSI, OBOS, div, majors, daily, hour 4, 30-minute, 1-day div, hour 1 div, minute 30 div, minute 15 div. We have videos on how to use all these confluences. And for platinum members who trade literally just a little bit more volume, you get access to all of the platinum trades. I have it customized, so you're not going to see it exactly as it's shown. But you see here, these are the limit order bot. And it actually just put a limit for hype. And I'm actually intrigued of this limit as well. I'm going to have to move the limit order that I have placed solely based off what my confluencers are looking at. And it's looking to move hype limits up. If you have access, you know it's been looking to long hype ever since it confirmed the low. Remember, ever since we closed our short at the lows, it's been looking to snipe a limit. It tried at 54, tried at 55. Now it's trying at 57, a little bit higher. Okay. This might mean that we get aggressive continuation for hype and an explosion up to 62, 63, 64, 65. In which case, I'm going to look for strong limits, right? Look at the limit order bar right here and the orders that we have placed, right? They might not tag. They don't have to tag, but it's a good representation of where price can potentially go. These limits, they might not even tag. We might only go up, but you have a directional opinion to know that the bot is looking along. Do not pass up on, honestly, everything the group has to offer when it comes to WG, when it comes to WoodsBot, when it comes to any confluence that you see fit. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. We're going to end the month on a strong note. I know it. I feel it in my bones. And yeah, I'll be active in chat. So peace, guys.